we both like kind of improvising. Obviously, you stick to the script, but then we'll do a few takes. We're kind of improvising around it a little bit, and it's always fun to see what shifts come out of us playing a little bit.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time today.
Yo.
Listen, I was devastated when this show got canceled, so I was very excited to see it get picked back up. But what was that roller coaster like for you guys?
It was shorter and less dramatic than it was for you. We knew right from the beginning that there were new streamers that were really interested, so we knew we were going to land somewhere.
We weren't worried.
But we weren't allowed to announce it until the deal closed. And so what honestly felt great was hearing people like you who had that reaction. Sometimes you make products and people don't care about it, and you try just as hard. So the fact that we made something that we loved, that people like yourself cared about, it just genuinely felt really good. And I felt really excited that eventually we're going to find our release date. We're going to be doing this and people get to see it.
I love Joyce and Doug. They're back and forth. They've got the dynamic from the beginning of, first season to now. It keeps changing, but it's still very volatile. Is that maybe the right word?
Yeah.
What's it like for you guys? Like, how do you feel about their dynamic?
I have so much fun playing that dynamic. It's because they bounce off each other, and they kind of want the same thing, but they want to get there by a very different route. And I think that's where the comedy comes from. But I do love playing those scenes with Jake because we both like kind of improvising. Obviously, you stick to the script, but then we'll do a few takes. We're kind of improvising around it a little bit, and it's always fun to see what shifts come out of us playing a little bit.
Yeah, it's neat for Ophelia. I used to be her acting coach, so for her, she's just so excited.
I had to fire him though because wow.
But it's a really fun dynamic. It's been fun since the beginning. And it's always neat when the story changes, but they're still the same Doug and Joyce, no matter where they're at. Yeah. They're always going to feel about each other the same. And I think where the show is probably going, if you've watched the end of season 2, is they need to find each other again. And they need to go back to some version of equal footing. And it's going to be hard for both of them, but they're just going to each have to swallow a big pill to get back.
One of my favorite scenes is just when you're on the ground, Jake, like measuring the office. It's like, I love that. So you're like, I'm like, he's really going to literally measure the office. It's fantastic.
What's really fun about the show, and I'm glad you commented on that, because that's a lot of the fun we have, is that it is an ego battle.
Yeah.
And it is a battle of who's in charge. And Ophelia and I really like in scenes battling of whose character is right. And when you do something, we're both arguing that our character is right. So I do think that's a big fun of the show. And that is, who's the boss of this group?
Yeah.
Because if you look at the crew, they kind of will go on. Anyone besides Shelly. Shelly's always going to be with you. But the rest of them kind of go which way the wind blows. Mm-hmm. And so when it's going in Doug's direction, they're all with bottom dollar. Then when it goes towards Joyce, they go towards her. So it's a battle for who's on top.
Yeah. What are you guys most excited for fans to see this season?
I'm curious to see how they respond to kind of the bigger storylines and kind of the introduction of Constance and how that kind of puts the cat amongst the pigeons, and seeing it felt different filming it. So I'm curious to see what the response is, because I mean, it's so hard to tell when you're on a set in your bubble.
I'm excited for them to see Doug's dancers. I think Doug did great work with those guys.
They will go down well, I think.
I think they had a great performance. I think Bambi absolutely kills it. I think Joyce made a huge mistake in not moving forward with that idea. I think it's an absolute moneymaker. And I can't wait for the crowd to react the way that I would react, and same with Doug. And that is, this is a huge win.
I enjoyed watching that episode.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time. Before I wrap real quick, Jake, I've just got to thank you. At the beginning of the pandemic, you did that Peter B. Parker messages, and one went to my daughters, and they made their entire...
What was your daughter's name?
Lori.
Lori, fun, cool.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that. That was really,
awesome.
really great of you. So thank you.